Welcome, brothers and sisters and seekers of truth, to a new installment of Saints in Reflection. Today we're going to tread on treacherous ground. We all know the stories. The Good Samaritan is the hero, the prodigal son is the forgiven one, and the older brother is the envious one. But have you ever stopped to consider whether we're only reading half the page? Jesus wasn't a master of sweet rhymes. He was a revolutionary of the mind. His parables weren't bedtime stories. They were cultural explosives. Today we're going to analyze 3 stories from a perspective that might unsettle you, but that will force you to reflect. Is it possible that we've misjudged the antagonists of the Bible? Let's talk about the son who stayed home. We always portray him as the legalist, the one lacking in love. But stop for a second. Imagine this man. Years working under the sun, caring for the family estate, honoring the name of a father who, one day, simply decides to throw a party for the son who squandered the inheritance on prostitutes and vices. Reflection. Is this a lack of love or a cry for justice? Often in the church, we are that older brother. Those who clean the building, those who arrive early, those who sustain the ministry while others go out into the world. And when someone returns, we feel that years of effort are ignored. The contradiction. Is God unjust in rewarding the one who arrives late the same as the one who was always there? Question for the chat. Have you ever felt like the older brother ignored by God, while others receive blessings effortlessly? Let's turn to the road to Jericho. The Good Samaritan is the example to follow, but why did the priest and the Levite pass by? Tradition says they were indifferent. The theological reality is more complex. The law. If they touched a dead body, or one that appeared to be dead, they became unclean. They could not officiate in the temple, they could not feed their families. They would be exiled from their sacred duties for days. The reflection. They did not choose hatred. They chose their religion over humanity. How often do we, out of holiness, or to avoid being contaminated by the sins of others, leave someone emotionally bleeding out by the side of the road? The contradiction here is lethal. Can fulfilling God's law make us forget God's character? Jesus tells the story of a landowner who hires people for different shifts. At the end of the day, he pays those who work 12 hours the same as those who worked only 1 hour. From a human perspective, this is labor exploitation. If you work all day and someone who arrived 15 minutes ago gets paid the same, you complain. The reflection. This parable shatters the concept of Christian meritocracy. It teaches us that grace is not measured in hours of service, but in the sovereignty of the one who extends it. The conflict. Why does it bother us that God is generous with others? Why do we want heaven to have levels of reward based on our effort? Brothers and sisters of saints in reflection, the Bible is not a book of perfect characters and cartoonish villains. It is a mirror of our own shadows. The older brother lives within us every time we judge the new convert. The priest lives within us when we prioritize the ritual over our neighbor. Jesus wasn't looking for us to agree with him immediately. He was looking to shake our souls. We now enter the murkiest territory of Jesus' teachings. There is a parable that many pastors prefer to skip because, at first glance, it seems that Jesus is rewarding dishonesty. The parable of the dishonest steward. The story is short but explosive. A steward is accused of squandering his master's goods. Knowing he will be fired, he decides to quickly buy friends. He calls his master's debtors and reduces their debts. To the one who owed 100 barrels of oil, he says, "Write 50. To the one who owed 100 barrels of wheat, write 80. He is stealing from his boss a second time. Here's the bombshell. When the master finds out, instead of throwing him in jail, he praises him. And Jesus concludes by saying, "The children of this world are more shrewd than the children of light." Reflection. Is Jesus asking us to be shrewd like the world? Ethical clash. How is it possible that the teacher of truth uses a swindler as an example? Hidden lesson. Jesus doesn't praise theft. He praises urgency. The administrator understood that his time was running out and used the resources of the old system to secure his place in the new system. Reflection for saints in reflection. Many Christians live with a frightening passivity. We are good, but we are slow, careless, and unstrategic. Meanwhile, the world uses every resource, every contact, and every minute for its own purposes. Incendiary question. Are we as passionate about the kingdom of God as a corrupt person is about money? Or has our holiness become an excuse for mediocrity and a lack of initiative? Join our growing family. Subscribing is the best way to support us. Please like this video, leave your feedback in the comments, and share it widely to help us reach more people.